Greetings, class. This is John Rasmus, your instructor for AC 524, Accounting for Nonprofit Institutions. We're going to be spending the next few months covering this topic. I'm looking forward to it. I've been teaching for about 20 years, and other than some online courses that we had to adjust to during the pandemic, I've taught in class and I've also taught the hybrid method. So this is something new for me. So you will be learning and I will be learning. Wanted to just give you some background information, kind of an outline on the course, and also let you know a little bit about my background. I think this course could be called Governmental Accounting. And the reason I say that is chapters 1 through 8 cover strictly governmental entities, and chapters 9 through 13 cover some nonprofits, colleges, and some of the other non-traditional, I'll call them non-traditional entities that you probably have had very little exposure to. So it's going to be somewhat new to you. I always say you have to sometimes just take a step back and let it soak in. Don't be intimidated by it, but we're going to get through this. And I want you to know I'm always going to be accessible for you. It might not be immediately, but it will be within 24 hours. We live in different time zones. We might live in different parts of the world. So we have to keep that in mind. But I truly believe a good instructor is one that stays close with his students, his or her students. The title of this course really could be called Governmental Accounting because the first 9 chapters strictly cover governmental accounting, and then we will be getting into some of the other nonprofit institutions. It really is a unique subject, and unless you've taken a course like this in the past, you're going to be exposed to some very new and unique concepts and terminology. So don't be intimidated by it. The why did I take this course feeling will go away within a few weeks. I think you'll really enjoy. And when it comes together, you're really going to appreciate the subject matter. Little background on the course. The first 2 chapters are very critical. Until you have those chapters down pat, it's going to be hard to move forward because the course kind of builds off of that foundation, and you're just going to make it a lot easier for yourself if you put in that extra time up front. And I'm sure a lot of professors say that, but it's truly critical for this course. Until you have those first few chapters down and understand the concepts, it's going to be hard for you to move beyond that. So chapters 1 and 2 go over what governmental accounting is all about. Nonprofit accounting is all about the financial reporting models, which differ significantly from for-profit companies. You'll be exposed to fund accounting, and the reason I got into it is I thought it was fun accounting, but I was corrected rather early on. It's fund, individual pots of resources that are used for certain governmental activities. So chapter 1 and 2 have that history of where we are or why we are where we are, who sets the rules, the GASB, Governmental Accounting Standards Board. You might be familiar with FASB, Financial Accounting Standards Board. GASB is a sister agency in Norwalk, Connecticut, about 45 minutes from where I live, where FASB and GASB are offices, headquarters are. And as FASB, GASB makes the rules, sets the standards, reviews topics of interest to the industry, and puts it out to practitioners, users of financial statements as they create their standards. And one thing about accounting is you think it's black and white. There's a lot of gray, and the rules are changing pretty much. If the accounting standards aren't changing, the auditing standards are changing, or the laws and regulations are changing. So one thing about this field is you have to be open to change. And I think if you take that approach, I find it to be very interesting. So from those first few chapters, chapter 3 heads off into budgetary accounting. And if you pay taxes, you know that your state, your town, your county, the U.S. government, they all require resources through taxation. So you obviously have a vested interest in it. And governments account for certain resources in certain funds, getting back to fund accounting. So chapter 3 goes through the budgetary process of how government sets a budget, appropriates money. What's an appropriation? A legal authority to spend. And from those resources, provide services, provide education through public schools, transportation, highway systems, airports, train stations, social services. The list goes on and on. So there's government is complicated. There's no doubt about it. So after chapter 3, we'll head off into chapters 4 through 7 that will get into the different types of fund and certain accounting issues that are unique to those fund types. Chapter 8 will bring all the concepts together, all the funds together, because as we'll find out as we go through our reading, we have a financial reporting that's deemed to be a dual perspective financial reporting concept. And what that means is we have reporting of individual types of funds, and then we have reporting of an entity, a state, a city, a county, as a whole, to get the rather big picture of the financial condition of that governmental agency. So chapter 8 brings that all together. Chapter 9 covers some special topics that are unique to government. And the remainder of the course, chapters 10 through 13, will go over nonprofit, non-governmental type entities, public colleges, private colleges. When you think of nonprofits, United Way, Red Cross, those types of entities. So we'll be looking at those as well. So what can I promise you that you'll get out of this course? Obviously, this new terminology, these new concepts is going to give you unique knowledge. If you're thinking about taking the CPA exam, a good percentage of it covers nonprofit and governmental accounting. And if you didn't take this course, if you didn't take a very good review course for the CPA exam, you could just throw those points out. I've had more students come back to me after they've graduated and taken the CPA exam and said, there's no way I could have passed that exam without taking this course. So I do promise you that. You'll be at the hit at parties when the topic turns to taxation, budget. People are very interested in how their taxes are spent. So having an understanding of that, I think you'll really appreciate. And I've had students that have gone on to serve in public office because they have this unique knowledge. I actually have gone that route as well. I always say communication is a two-way street. I would like to hear back from you. I'd like to, over the next week, whether it be by email or video, I'd like you to introduce yourself to me. So nothing long, it can be very brief, but please introduce yourself with your name, your graduation date, any experience or interest that you have in the accounting field, what your future plans are. Are you going to sit for that CPA exam? Are you thinking of going to grad school? Are you going to jump right into a career? There are so many opportunities and so many different roads that you can take with an accounting degree. So I would like you to share what your thoughts are on that. Please answer the question, I took this course because. If it's an elective, please let me know why you took it. If it's required in your course of study, you can simply state that. And let me know what you like to do with your free time, because I always like to get kind of the full big picture of my students. So I will start. My name is John Rasmus. I graduated back in 1980 something from a state university that I am now teaching at. My experience and interest in accounting, back then, I thought I wanted to get into tax, and I took a position with the tax department in the state of Connecticut, and soon thereafter found that it just wasn't for me. I don't know if I was just in the wrong tax or in the wrong position, but it was a position where you knew all you needed to know over the first few months, and you would be doing the same thing for whatever your career was that you were going to be there for. And that just didn't sit well with me. I wanted a challenge. And I got to say, the governmental audit sector, which I was a part of, there was always change. There was always interesting things going on that piqued my interest. So that's what did it for me. I kind of just went through my background. I served for 38 years with the Auditors of Public Accounts. I retired as the Deputy State Auditor, overseeing a staff of 110 auditors and accountants. I have to say I really miss, and I retired last April 2022. I have to say I really miss the people. I miss the work, but I don't miss some of the bureaucracy, and I don't miss the commute going into Hartford. I'm about an hour away from Hartford, so that was always kind of a bear. Again, I would like to hear back from you what your interests are. It's great to finally meet you, albeit that it's virtual. And again, I promise that I will be available to you if you just throw out some times that you need to meet. We can certainly find times that will work for both of us. You're going to learn a lot, I can promise you that. Will you enjoy the class? I surely hope that you do. And please let me know if there's anything I can do to make your life easier as you plow through material. So at this point, I'll just say buckle up, put on your seatbelts, and enjoy the ride. Have a great week, and I look forward to hearing back from you.